Hey friend, are you ready? You ready to get ready with me? Go grab your brushes and your compact and stuff. I'll wait for you. I'll just put my eye things on while I'm waiting. Yeah, it's okay. Just grab all that stuff. Make sure that you've got good lighting. I like sitting in front of my mirror or my window here with my mirror in front of it because then I get the nice natural light. Oh, it's hard to get these. Okay, are you ready? Good. You got everything? Okay, great. Let's get started. I am just going to start with my, let's do eyeshadow first since I put my little eye stickers on. So I'm going to grab my eyeshadow brush. I'm just going to put a color like all over my lids. So this is actually just Vanilla Dust setting powder. Yeah, no, go ahead. Use whatever you want. You know, my eyes are always so red and bloodshot every single morning, and I forgot to put my drops in, so let me put those in. Yeah, they're called Lumify, and I can get them at Costco, but they're by Bausch Shalom, and I just do one drop a day in the morning, one drop in each eye, and you'll see like the whites will start to get whiter right before your eyes. It's pretty cool. I got that base color on. Like if you had a lighter color that you like better, just put that on. Some people will even put a little bit of their foundation on. I try not to put too much oily stuff. Even when I moisturized, I didn't put moisturizer on my eyelids. Now I'm going to grab a color called Chai. It's just like a light, warm brown. And I'm going to put this on my crease and above. So I actually like to keep my eye open. Yeah, with heavy eyelids, it helps a bit to look straight ahead and keep your eye open and just get it really more above there than in it. Because if you just put it in your crease, like you have eyes like I do, if you just put it in your crease, it can disappear once you open your eyes. So that's why I like to do this with my eye more open. And then I always leave space under my brow. So I'm not going all the way up to my brow with that color. Now I want to richen it up a little bit. So I'm just going to dab into a little bit darker color. And I'm just going to add a little bit more. Yeah, you might want to try these eye stickers. They're really cool. I got them on Amazon. I'm pretty sure I have the link in my bio, but I can send it to you. Just message me and I'll give you the link to it. But they're really handy because I'm sloppy with my eyeshadow anyway, and this way I really don't have to pay much attention because once I peel those off, I'll have a nice clean line. I think the hardest part about them, honestly, is just getting them in the right place, making sure my angle's right. Sometimes it's a little bit off, but I can fix it with my foundation. All right, now I'm just going to take my finger and I'm going to use a little bit of a shimmer. I think I'll use this one today on my lid. I like using my finger, yeah. Yeah, and I always use my ring finger too because it has the lightest touch. So anything around your eyes, use your ring finger. Just get in the habit of it. And then I think I'll take my little bit lighter one and just pop that right on that inner corner. You can do this one with the brush too if you want to. I'm going to take my brush. This is the brush cleaning tile. It's really cool. I use it with my demi colors and with my eyeshadows. I don't use it with my regular foundation, but it's great to kind of loosen off the product off of the brush so you're not muddling things together. All right. Yeah, you can put your light shimmer if you want to under there. I'm not going to because it makes my eyes look puffier there. So instead I'm going to use some of my concealer. So we'll go to that later. All right, I'm done with this. I'm going to do eyeliner after because the tape is in the way. So let me take off the tape. Look at that really perfect clean line it gives, right? I like it. Now you can put your eyeliner on now if you want to. I'll probably just wait. Yeah, whatever you want to do though. All right, let's get going. It's foundation time. I'm going to grab my 3D brush and I'm using the small side. Yeah, you can use the small side of your blush and bronzer if you want to, or if you have the buff brush, the detail brush. Oh, let me grab my detail brush. Actually, the flat side of the detail brush is really nice to get good coverage too, whichever one you want. I'm just going to tap into my main color and I'm kind of tapping it everywhere. Yeah, don't worry too much about getting a bunch of coverage under your eye or on blemishes or anything yet, wait until the end for that. And also, we just don't want to put a lot of product under our eyes. So I never start under my eye with the brush. I just kind of move whatever product I've put on in that area, because we're going to dab a little bit more anyway. You can, if you want to, you can go up here, but you really, the contour has coverage in it, and we're going to put contour there, so you don't really have to. But whatever you think. However it makes you feel good. I'm going to use my little bit lighter color on the sides of my nose right here where more red. You might have a mid color, do you? If not, just dab into your light and your main foundation color. It'll make a mid color. I just was kind of taking the guessing out of it. I'm going to put a little bit right there. Okay. So now that pretty much we've got our face like evened out. Let me see. Yeah, looks good. Looks good. Okay, now I'm going to go into my contour. I'm going to use, actually, I'll use that detail brush. Yeah, you want to use that one? Okay, so I'm just kind of tapping into it. Now the contour feels stiffer. You might notice that. And I'm going to, here's a good rule. If you take your finger and you put it right where your cheek dips in, if you put it right above there, starting at your hair, and then I personally don't come in much, I don't come in further than the outer corner of my eye. Yeah, if your face was rounder, you could totally come in more, but you're pretty narrow, so I would do a little, I would just do like kind of stop it there. So, but yeah, if your face was more round, you could totally bring that line in. It'll kind of chisel you in a little bit more. I'm like in between, I feel like. I'm going to take some more of that. And this is a good rule of thumb too. You can just like make a triangle right here. It's kind of like on that outer part of your arch, going straight up. If you feel like you have a really big forehead, put some right there too. And then we can just blend this as we go. So just make sure you're pushing it up and back into your hairline. Don't worry if that line's not perfectly blended, because we are going to add some bronzer there anyway. And then with the cheek, up and back, like push up raw for your face. And again, no, you're fine like that. I don't always blend it all the way out, just because I know I'm going to add bronzer in a second. So on your jawline, try not to look up too far. You don't want to put it on top of your jaw. You really want to get it right on that line. And then for me, you don't have this, but that little jowl right there, I'm just going to kind of put a little extra and cover it. And then you can just bring this down. And because I dip in right here, I make sure that I don't put any of the dark there. So that's up to you. And then I always do right here because it's really kind of bright. All right, last thing with this contour is we're going to use the side of this brush. If you don't have this brush, a lot of times I use the 3D brush and I just squish it together. In fact, I'll just show you with that since I have it. And I dab a little bit on there, and then I draw 2 straight lines. Okay, wait, stop. The trick with this is make sure that you're looking really straight. Like, don't turn your head sideways, and you want to make sure that you're straight on. And the closer you can get those 2 lines together, the thinner your nose will look. And if you make a mistake, you can just kind of wipe it with your finger. Don't stress about it. And then I put mine here because I just feel like my nose is a little long and I'm more bulbous, so I put some here. But you probably don't even need it there. Okay, some people will continue it up to their brow. Since I am really narrow right here, I have a natural shadow, so I don't. So I'm just kind of continuing from that shadow. And then if you want to put some under your lip, some people even put it on the top. It'll create extra. Look, already my lip looks fuller. Isn't that crazy? Oh yeah, yours does too. That looks good. All right, hold on. Don't get ahead of me. All right, I'm going to go into the brightening shade. So that's going to be your lightest foundation color, okay? And I'll just use the other side of the detail brush. And I'm going to tap into this. Now this is, you're not going to want to use a ton. I don't like to use a lot of product around my eyes, but I might be putting a little bit more on just so you can see it. But I'm going to do the inner corner, and I'm going to go straight down the side of my nose. So it's really on the cheek of my, it's not really on my nose, but it's on that side. And then right here on the corner of my eye, I'm going to go up those stickers kind of made a guide for me already. But this is where if I made that sticker line crooked, I can really even it out more. So I'm just going up. Look at instant eye lift. Let me see. Yeah, totally. It makes a huge difference. And I'm going to take a little tiny bit right under my contour. Yeah, especially I like putting it here. I know I'm not really light there, but it looks, most people like you too, your neck is lighter right there. So it just ties it in better. And then a little tiny skinny line down your nose. And if you have a really hard time doing this, you could just kind of tap it with your finger and just get a little line. Or honestly, we could have done this line before we did the contour because then it would have been easier, right? To clean it up. Whatever. You can't mess up. I keep telling you, right? All right. That's it for like foundation. Now we can blend this, or if you want to just add bronzer now, totally. Now I like the fluffy side of my blush and bronzer brush for this. It kind of makes it less hard to mess up. Sometimes people will use the smaller side, but I just feel like this gives me a lighter touch. And I always start on my forehead because if I get way too much on the brush, it seems like it's a little easier to blend it on the forehead. And then I always bring it down here. So I guess a good rule of thumb is thinking of if you're blessing someone, right? Like that. My chin sticks out a little bit, so I put a little bit there to shadow it, because when you shadow things, it makes them recede. Now your chin is not, I mean, your chin is normal. If it was smaller, you could totally put the light color there and it'll kind of bring it forward. Try it both ways and see what feels better to you. Okay, so I got that. Now let's go in and finish blending our foundation. So I'm just grabbing that first foundation brush that I used and I'm just tapping it. And I'm being really gentle around my eyes. If you have a hard time, yeah, you're going to have a hard time with that brush in your inner corners. Just grab the detail brush again, or one that has a smaller edge, or use your finger. I notice, yeah, don't blend your contour on your nose too much. I notice that it does blend easier. So you can just kind of tap the light and it's usually enough, or sometimes I'll just go like that. Otherwise, I'll blend off the contour. No, it's okay. Just add, if you took too much off, just add a little bit more on. It's not a big deal. Okay. You want to do your eyebrows now? Okay. You can either use your contour. Most of the time, I've matched your contour to your eyebrows. Or, like, I like using my demi color for this. So it's a demi sculpt, it's called. This one, it's NG+1. This one's pretty ashy though, because I'm kind of growing out my gray and my brown is more of a cool brown. This one works well in my eyebrows, but there's a couple other ones that might work well for you. We'll look at it and figure it out. But yeah, just use your contour. This is the multitasker. Yeah, I always start at the arch, and really on like 99% of people, from the arch to the tail is where their hair is either the lightest or the thinnest or both. So that's why I always start there, because if I get a concentration of color here, that's where I really need it. And then if you look at the rest, this doesn't really need much. So I'm just kind of brushing whatever is left on the brush there. If I start here, then I make this really dark, then I have to make this even darker. So yeah, it's just kind of how I do it. I feel like it's easier. Yeah, I love this brush. We're going to use this for spot cover too. Multitasker. Yeah, you'll probably want it. All right. I just keep looking at my eyes and I feel like I need a little bit more dark, a little bit higher in that spot. Okay, I think you put your light color of eyeshadow up there, but I didn't. So I'm going to take a little bit of my brightening highlight, the same concealer that we used on that inner and outer corner, and I'm going to put it just under my arch and just under that thickest part of my brow. Yeah, it does a couple of things. It's going to give me lift. It helps sculpt out my brow too, because they're not perfectly shaped and I probably have some hair there that I need to tweeze off. And then I'm using my finger, ring finger. You can use a brush too. And I'm just going to tap that. So I'm not really smudging it everywhere. I'm just kind of tapping it so it blends. And then here's a little extra bonus. If you want, take that light color right above your arch. Watch this. It'll give another little extra lift. right? Yep, it was like instant Botox. All right, let me add a little bit of eyeshadow before we put our blush on. Yeah, I'm using eyeshadow as eyeliner. You can use your contour as eyeliner. If you have a favorite, pencil or whatever, grab it. No, these are really cool because most of our eyeshadows are powder, but you can use them wet or dry. So if you want a really crisp line, just dampen either the brush or put a little drop of water or setting spray in the eyeshadow. But I like a softer line, so that's why I'm using my eyeshadow brush. You can totally use the multitasker brush to make a really crisp line if that's what you want. But I'm just kind of doing like a little shadowy thing, so kind of more of a smoky smudge. Hold on, let me catch up with you. Okay, are we both at the right spot now? Okay, now, do you feel like there's anything that you want to cover? Just a little bit under your eyes? Me too. And I have a blemish too. But wait, before we do that, let's do blush, because I swear to you, if you get your makeup on, a lot of times after you get everything else on, it distracts from your other distractions. So like even putting this on, it's going to just brighten me up. So I probably don't need to put as much coverage under my eyes as I would have before. No, you can put your blush wherever you want. Some people really love the apples. My apples have fallen. So I like to keep mine kind of high so it's above where I put that contour. And I even kind of do like a little C motion right here. But the concentration of my color is right here. And then I kind of fade it out. And if I want to bring a little bit closer to my apple. Yeah. I don't know. I've had that color is something that I've mixed a couple of colors together to make a color. Sometimes I'll order something and I'm like, it's pretty, but I don't love it. And instead of sending it back, I've actually just kind of found another color to mix with it. So I was dabbing into two colors, but it got to be a pain. And so I just scooped some out into the tin and I melted them together on my little candle warmer. And then I'm like, now I have my own perfect custom color. Okay, now that you have your blush on, let's look under the eye. I'm gonna grab, this is a demi brush. You can use your multitasker for this. Just make sure you clean that small side off if you got anything on it. I don't have my demi color in here, but this is a lip and cheek color that we had, and it's similar to a demi, and I'm gonna just tap where I feel the darkest. Yeah, sometimes if you tilt your head or you kind of just purposely make more of a shadow, it really shows you exactly where you need to put that. And you don't need a lot. You just lightly tap. Yeah, if you don't have it, use your darker foundation color, not your lighter one, your darker one, okay? Because when we're covering darkness, we're trying to cover the same darkness. In fact, I'll show you on the other eye. Let me just tap this one out. This is another reason the ring finger is nice, and it's warm, so it melts it easy. All right, let me just wipe off that brush. Now I'm going to take my darker, so my main foundation color, and I'll show you on this side. But do you notice that I'm not like putting it everywhere? I'm just tapping it right where the darkest part is. And then tap it with your finger, or if you want, if you have a clean side of the brush, you can just kind of soften it with that. All right, let me even this a little bit. I feel like I need a little bit more right there. Let me see yours. No, that looks really good. Really good. There, if you feel like you just are a little bit dark right there on the corner, yeah, just add another little dot. Ta-da! Oh, wait, I gotta cover this thing down here. Okay, let me see you. That looks really good. You happy? Little mascara? Oh, before mascara, if you're going to use your setting spray, use it now. Let me grab mine. Okay, I always make sure I shake it because there's ingredients in there that will separate. So shake it. Commit to the spray, okay? So spray it all the way down. If it freaks you out, just grab your damp perfector sponge and spray it on that. Mine's not damp, so I'm not going to use it. Okay, ready? Yeah, like 3 or 4. But if you press all the way down, it's usually a nice mist. If you stop midway, you're going to get like fire hose. It's the worst. Okay, so once you're at this point, if you like the dewy look, stop. You're set, you're good. If you want a little bit extra staying power and maybe you don't like the dewy look, you can grab your Vanilla Dust powder and you can use a brush with this. I'm just going to put the tiniest bit right under my eye, so I'm just going to use my finger. And I'm just tapping. Oh my God, did you just hear my dog toot? She didn't even flinch. I think she's sleeping. And then any blemishes that you covered, I always say put powder on those too. It'll just keep them staying. All right, I think it's good. Yeah, if you want to add more blush. Oh, illuminator. Hang on, I want to add more blush actually. Illuminator. Okay, so I don't have the same one, but I'm going to use this little shimmery one as it. You're going to tap it like on the high point of your face, of your cheek, and I smile a lot just to make sure I don't get it in those smile lines. Yeah, you don't have as many as I do, so you're probably fine. But if you just feel like you need to check it, that's kind of a good rule to do. And then you can put a little bit right down your nose, just really lightly. So yours is a cream too, and the creams are more subtle. I always tell people this. It's one of those things where you're going to put it on, you don't really see it until you turn and the light hits, and then you get that beautiful glow. So it's really for other people to see your glow. If you like a little more intensity and glow, get one of the powder illuminators. But your cream one you can use as gloss too. Yeah, and you could have put your lip color on your cheek color on your lips too. Okay, now I'm just going to throw a little bit of my mascara on here. And yours looks great. Good job. You can totally save this if you want and then refer back to it. Then you can fast forward through the parts that, we were yapping too. Okay. Yay. Oh, I'm so glad you love it. All right. Call me, text me if you have any questions. I'm here to help you. You have my number, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye.